We are here with our first episode of Young Bosses. I'm so excited. So we have our first guests. It's Josh and Coleman with Faraway Visuals. So why don't you just tell us a little bit about what you guys do?
Yeah, so we're involved in a couple of different ventures. Faraway Visuals is our company, so we do like full film production for music videos, for funding campaigns, nonprofit campaigns, and also clothing brands. And additionally to that, we also run an event called the Freedom Collective, which is a young entrepreneur networking retreat that we do once a year in exotic locations.
That's really exciting. And I want to ask you more about the philanthropic side of what you're doing a little bit later. But I know that mindset is really big for you guys, and I wanted to share this with our audience, the mindset ideas that you guys had and obstacles that you came across with mindset and how it's really helped to propel you forward with your business.
I mean, for myself, I'd say my mindset is more that it's more about the process, enjoying the process, loving it instead of just the end game. Mm-hmm. So it's not just about thinking about my retirement, how much money I'm making, and it's more about living a life that you don't have to escape from, you don't have to retire from. Living your passion.
Yeah.
You know, finding that one thing that you would do every day for every minute if you could.
And Tim Ferriss talks about that a little bit in his 4-hour work week too. It's like living the new rich, not working so hard to the point of where, oh, I can finally retire, but you're old and like you haven't enjoyed your life at all. So it's just about enjoying your life along the way, isn't it?
100%, yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, realizing that at a young age, striving towards that, and then maintaining that mindset for us is environment too. Like being around the right people constantly. You can't afford to spend time around the wrong environment, around the wrong energy, because you have to be so focused on that goal and what you want to do, because a dream like that is really hard to make happen. So for us, it's about focusing on that environment to help us stay within that mindset.
Yeah, and having positive people around you that help build you up, because they say you're a reflection of the 5 people around you that you spend the most time with. So making sure that those are really good people that you're surrounding yourself with, not people that bring you down or make you feel crap about yourselves. Right?
Totally, yeah.
Totally, 100%.
So tell us, what were your biggest obstacles and how did you master them?
Well, for me, an obstacle for me is figuring out who I am and where I'm going. Mm-hmm. So basically, I'm still working to master it, of course. It's a lifelong kind of journey. Right. But I've figured I'm a creative and I'm a caretaker. I love to create in all senses of the word. I like to, whether it's photo, video, anything really, and I really like to take care of people. Like, I want to move in a direction where I can use my passions to make a difference, as small or as large as that could be.
Yeah, and for me, I'd say the biggest obstacle is once you kind of find this thing that sets you on fire, that you're like, oh my gosh, I'm so passionate about this, this is all I want to do. The problem is you naturally just start to shut other parts of your life out. And I think maintaining a balance is so important, because no matter what, if you're not balanced, you will crash and burn at some point. So for me, it's trying to maintain that balance. And even though I'm super into everything that we're doing, still, focusing on family and friendships and not letting those things disappear because you're too focused. So finding that balance is the biggest obstacle for me. And it's something that I work on every day, but it's something I'm conscious of and something that's really important to me.
Yeah, I think balance is so important for people, because a lot of people who get really passionate about something do give it their all and then burn out. And then they're overwhelmed, and then they can't put in as much energy as they should be because they're not taking care of themselves. So self-care is very important. I'm glad you guys are looking into that. I wanted to go back to philanthropy because it's something I feel really passionate about, and I love that that's a priority for you guys too. So maybe tell us a little bit more about what you guys are doing in that field.
Yeah, so one thing that's coming in the near future that we're really excited about is we're partnering with a solar company, which is Oasis Solar. And they've been working in a remote village in the Philippines, and they've been wanting to install power there. This village has no power. It's about 150 people. So we want to run a GoFundMe campaign for them, and just get some media and some attention on what's going on in this village, how hard it is for these people to live their lives without power, and get funding to actually install a complete solar system in that village to power the whole village.
Jeez, what are you doing today? That's pretty cool. That's awesome. So I wanted to also know, what's inspiring you guys to do all this? So with your businesses, the videos, the entrepreneurial retreat, and your philanthropy projects, like what inspires you guys to get involved in them all?
Simply put, I think we're both ridiculously passionate about travel and culture and experience, and that's fueled almost everything we've done since the day we met.
That's awesome. And with the retreat, you were telling me you guys were working one, and then you felt inspired when you were there to then create your own. Do you want to tell us more about that? Because that's really inspiring, I think, for our viewers to, you know, be part of something as, you know, maybe just the ground level, but then you get inspired and you want to work your way up to then being the boss.
Absolutely. So the retreat that we worked on, which was quite recent, we went there in a capacity that we were just filming the retreat. So we were videographers for the retreat, just covering what was going on and outputting videos every day. Being there, seeing the type of people that were involved in this retreat and actually connecting with those people, it was just like an epiphany. It was like, if they can do it, there's no reason we can't. So it was super inspiring just to see what happened when you take a group of selected people that just have good energy and like a good positive vibe to them, and what happens. And we just, you know, after connecting with those people on this retreat, even though we were there in a capacity that we were working, we managed to make those connections, learning a lot about the process and some of the logistics, which is, you know, not the fun part, but important. We realized there's no reason we can't do this ourselves. So I think just going there and being a part of that environment for a week straight was so inspiring that there's no way we could have left the retreat without doing something that was similar.
Yeah, and I think that's really good advice for people too. When you find something that you're passionate about, just go get involved in any capacity. Like, don't let your ego get in the way of thinking, well, no, I want this position, or I want, you know, this job in this field. Like, go work from the ground level, like go work for someone, learn about what they're doing, and see if it's even what you want to do.
That's the thing. If you want to be involved in something, if you're in that environment, no matter what capacity that you're in, as long as you surround yourself in that environment, you will become part of that environment. As long as you're just living in it, you're embracing it, you're absorbing all of it, don't worry about what capacity you start in, you will find a way. As long as you're passionate, you will find a way.
This is so inspiring. I love it. I'm getting so much inspiration just from listening to you guys. It's really cool.
Yeah. So, yeah, my question is, when you look back, we all have a moment or some event that brought a change, a life-changing time in your life, and has you can credit now it to what you are, like the person you have become now. So what do you think, if what's that moment or that event that you think of that moved you altogether? And
I can say for myself, and probably for Josh too, that travel is huge. We did an extended trip through Southeast Asia about 4 years ago for over about 3 months. And that really changed. It kind of set our souls on fire, you can say. Like,
Undoubtedly.
yeah.
Yeah, we went to Southeast Asia as a group, and it was our first like big backpacking trip. We were just like a bunch of like 21, 22-year-old kids.
so that was a fun trip.
It was just for fun, yeah, not for film or anything like that. But I think we just did not plan for what we experienced. We started in China. We went through all sorts of different styles and cultures and, you know, different types of traveling within that trip. And we really found ourselves in a way, and we just found a passion and what sets us on fire. And I think that kind of sparked everything that we've done up till now, because it just put us in a position where we realized our world was very small compared to what it could be. And from that moment on, we were passionate about finding a way to expand that world.
That's exactly how I felt after backpacking through Southeast Asia. That's what it does to you. It's like you kind of leave the planet of what you thought, and you like go to the other side, and you're like, oh, this is how the other side lives. Like, this is, because you get stuck in your own bubble. That's what happened to me. I was living in LA, and it's so easy there to just get all consumed in the city because it offers so much, and there's so much to do just within that area. You kind of forget about the rest of the world. And traveling for me just opened my eyes up to see what happens like when you take yourself out of something that's all about you because you're so driven and passionate about your career, and you step outside and see what other people care about and think about and focus on, and it makes you, I really think it makes you a more well-rounded person to go see the world, and you learn so much.
It's humbling. It
Yeah,
truly is.
and it's hard to just come back to life as you knew it before, because especially when you're gone for months backpacking, you come back and you're like why do I even care?
Yes.
Why do I care about like this traffic isn't even bad compared to traffic in India. I'm like in India and I'm actually enjoying it. Being stuck in traffic, it's like an adventure. It just
Definitely is.
it is. Oh my god, the fights that I saw was hilarious. It only happened once. There's not really that much fighting in India.
I'm not going to personally say that traffic is enjoyable in Southeast Asian countries.
It's so stressful.
We've had like enough motorbike accidents.
Oh, yeah.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Nothing too bad, but
I was mainly just cruising around the tuk-tuk, so I was pretty chill. Yeah, it's definitely eye-opening and really inspiring. So I'm glad that that's what got you guys to get started on this whole journey. And I think it's really important too for young people to travel, because you just change your perspective on life and you learn so much. I know when I was a kid in high school, I grew up in Australia and I started to visit my dad in California, and when my mum asked my teachers if it was okay for me to take a month off school, one very wise teacher said she will actually learn more in that month of traveling than what she will a year in school, so let her go. I could let her travel. Yeah, so I'll credit that teacher to my life. Thank you.
if you're watching.
If you're watching. Another influence that a lot of people have in their life are their parents. So did your parents influence your decision making in your career or your travels or what you wanted to do with your life at all?
For me, my parents really influenced me, and they continue to influence me. So my mom works in nursing, and she's kind of oh yeah, really.
That's why you're a caretaker.
That's exactly why. So I guess that's what inspired me to be such a caretaker and caring about others and wanting to make a difference. My dad, he ran his own business throughout his 20s and his 30s. And I guess he gave me my drive. Made me a go-getter.
Yeah, so you saw him run his own business, and that's what made you want to, that's probably what made you believe in it, that you saw it. Because a lot of people don't really see it happen in their lives, and they kind of get stuck in what we think we have to do, get in, 9 to 5 and have our own boss. It's sometimes hard for people to find that inspiration to go out there and get it. Do you think, though, that people can, if they don't have that influence in their lives, they can still find that within themselves?
I would 100% believe that, yeah. I feel like anyone can do it. You just got to work hard enough, find your passion, work your butt off, and...
Yeah, so we shouldn't be limited just to our environment either,
100%.
as important as it is.
And I think, we have to be, it's just about the willingness to step outside of your comfort zone. Because, I've seen people in situations, I've been in situations myself where it's hard for you to grow where you're at. And the biggest thing has been you just get comfortable in a chain, but if you're passionate about wanting to change or see something else, people outside of your realm will see that in you. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure we can all relate when, if you have different diverse groups of friends, and there might be a friend that maybe is not in a perfect situation, but when they really want to change and when they're really ready to push to the next level or do whatever they want to do in their life, you can see that, and you're always willing to help those people. Mm-hmm. So if you're showing that you want to change and that you want to do something, the people who are keeping an eye out for that will see you. So don't feel like your parents have to be those figures or you need someone directly in your life, because there are people actively looking to help, and they're just looking for people that are ready to undergo that change.
Yeah, totally. And we were talking the other day about your father and how he inspired you, and you actually went to school for economics, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Do you want to tell us more about that?
Yeah, so I did my undergrad in econ. I joint majored in economics and business. My dad was an immigrant from Zimbabwe. So my parents met in South Africa. My dad came to Canada, dirt poor, and basically worked as a car salesman, ended up running one of his own businesses that went under, and then started another business. And a lot of my childhood was watching my dad, catch on to something, work really hard, and then, something happened that just completely knocks him down. Mm-hmm. But every time he got back up, which was really inspiring for me to watch, and he always had a smile on his face about it. So I think if you really believe in what you're doing, if you have a passion for what you're creating or what you're doing somewhere, nothing can stop you. Because even if you get bad news or if things are looking grim, as long as you believe in that idea, you can kind of keep moving. And that's what he really taught me, I'd say.
Because resilience is so important. I find that something that I struggle with a lot is when you get rejection in a certain industry, because in the entertainment industry there's a lot of rejection. Don't advise it to anyone. Stay away from it if you can. If you can't, then I feel for you. So yeah, you get a lot of rejection, and you do come up against a lot of obstacles, and it's just like the fact that you keep going is, I think, what will result in you making it. You just don't give up, and yes, you've got to be talented at something too, but the fact that you just keep trying and nothing will get you down, I think is like probably the biggest quality that a lot of bosses and entrepreneurs have to have, because especially with social media today, and I'm going to go off on a tangent, but we just see the highlight reel of everybody's lives. We think everyone's making it, everyone's doing well, everyone's successful or happy, and we forget that people really go through it as well. And when we have a really hard time and we're not seeing that, it's really nice to know that other people have gone through it and you've seen them come out from it, and that's really inspiring.
On top of every contract we get or every job that we do, there's 10 failures behind it. We just aren't posting about it. You know, I'm not actively posting stories, be like, hey guys, like I lost this today, but there's a lot of failure. It's going to slap you in the face every day. And we'd both be lying if we said it doesn't get us down, but it's just about encouraging each other, being around encouraging people, and just having it within yourself to say, I know I can keep going.
Yeah, and having trust and faith in yourself too. And then outside of yourself, I think that's really important, that travel helps a lot with too, because I noticed, especially when I was in India, people there believe in so much outside of themselves. It's not really about them, it's about their beliefs. And it's not even just religious, it's really like they love their Himalayas so much. That's what they worship and that's what they appreciate. And that's kind of their guiding force. That's what drives them and inspires them. And I feel that sometimes in Western culture, what drives us a lot is just success and money. And we have to find something else that really gives us purpose and passion that's bigger than us. So what do you think that is? Like, this is a very deep question, I guess. What is that driving force?
That gives us purpose and passion.
Yeah.
I think it definitely falls on travel as well, like kind of how you mentioned traveling and sparked a lot of that in you. And I think for us, and especially for me specifically, going to Zimbabwe at a really young age, and seeing how people live in different parts of the world and experiencing poverty and things like that, you realize there's so much more to life than success. There's so much more to life than business and basically, you know, things that you do in North America. Understanding that is out there, and understanding that there's, you know, you don't have to just follow this one structure of like, I need to work a 9 to 5, make a lot of money and be successful. You start to become more open as a person and more well-rounded, and then you start to just believe in more than just yourself. And I think seeing people, you know, get lifted out of situations, or being able to help people or experience things, learning from people of different cultures, that's inspiring. And I think that's why this kind of falls on travel for us, is that experiencing different cultures and taking little pieces of what it means to be human from those cultures is kind of what builds our philosophy and builds our idea of how we live our lives.
We would love to know more about your entrepreneurial retreat that you're doing in Bali. Is it in July?
July, yes. July 1st to 8th, we are taking 15 young bosses, essentially young entrepreneurs, to Bali. So right now we're building a roster of just incredible, inspiring people, all kind of between the ages of 20 to like 35, that are just building their empire, building who they are, whether it's through business, whether it's through acting, whether it's through self-branding, and getting that group of people together and taking them to Bali. So we're running a full production team while we're there. So we're going to be putting out content for people's businesses, for people's brands, so making sure that we're actually doing a lot of marketing for everyone while we're there. And we're just focusing on having a retreat, so having talks every day, and just connecting these people. So if you feel like you might be one of those people, we'll give us your contact information. So it's something we're really excited about, and once again, it just lays on this event that we just finished, seeing a group of people together that have the same mindset and have the same drive. You barely need to do anything. You just need to get them together, and the things that happen are incredible. But on top of that, we're going to do a lot of excursions. We're renting a yacht for a day.
What?
We're going.
What? You guys guys are balling.
We're going to an elephant sanctuary. Yeah, we're doing a lot of excursions
Oh,
while
I
we're there, which
love
is all
it.
included in the trip. But yeah, it's going to be really
That sounds
incredible.
So fun. And probably, like you said, just getting these people together in a room and the brainstorming, the ideas that they come up with.
So
It
valuable.
reminds me a lot of the TED conference. Like, that's a huge part of TED is, yes, the talks are phenomenal, but it's just getting these like-minded people together and the ideas that they can come up with just by hanging out and feeling inspired.
Exactly. And it's a for us, by us mentality where it's young entrepreneurs building this for other young entrepreneurs of like a similar fashion.
Oh my gosh, how exciting. I'm so glad that you guys are doing this. And you're so young, too. You're perfect for us.
Yeah, so as a final question that we'd like to ask our guests is, what's your philosophy on life? What keeps you going?
Well, my philosophy is very simple. Number one, friends and family are first, no matter what. And then going on from that, I mean, you got to work your butt off so that you can finally live your passion. You know, because otherwise, are you really living or are you just earning a living?
Oh, what a great note to end on. So for anyone watching and they want to find out more about the retreat and the Philippines project and your faraway visuals, where can they find you guys?
Yeah, so we have a couple of different pages. Our website is farawayvisuals.com, which is basically our website for videography and production. And then also our website for the Freedom Collective is thefreedomcollective.com. We have 2 Instagram pages. So we have Faraway Visuals as one of our Instagram pages, and then the FRDM Collective, which is the abbreviation for freedom. The other name was taken, to be honest.
I think you're just trying to be cool.
That too.
But yeah, that's the @ signal for our Freedom Collective Instagram. But and on our Instagrams as well, you can find information about both of those things, which is at Josh Guvi, JoshGuvi, and at
Colvin W. Photography.
Sweet. And we'll probably put links in at the end of this video too. So thank you for tuning in to our first Young Bosses podcast episode. We need to
Thank you for having
celebrate.
us.
Yeah, this is really exciting stuff, and I'm excited to see what you guys do in future.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
Woo!
Thank you guys. Cheers.
Okay, that's a
Thank
wrap.